Okay, now as we keep going, I'm going to add in my little pagodas here, okay? I kept my pagodas simple, but again, you can use your handout for reference and choose the pagoda style that you would like. So if we break down the pagoda shape, it is a triangle shape with a few little decorative ornaments on the end there. Okay, turning up like we can see. Turning up, and we have a triangular shape there, or a trapezoid shape. Okay, so my very first hill, I'm gonna draw it here. And remember, so we draw light, that way we can erase lines as needed, because I'm definitely going to have some overlap here. And I'm drawing my pagoda. I am curving that triangle. Okay, that's the roof of our home. If you want to do something layered, don't make it into a point just yet, but keep it as a trapezoid. And then you can add a little sort of balcony here if you want, or something decorative. And then we will add the second layer of our pagoda. Okay, just make sure you can see. Okay, and now I'm gonna add the very top and maybe give it a little ornament. So now those lines that are intersecting, hopefully you've drawn them lightly enough that we can erase any line that is intersecting over our pagoda. So we have our very first object in our landscape, and it's now overlapping our hills. So it is in front. It should give the look that it is in front of all our hills, because it's the very closest thing to us. So maybe I want to add a little door, a doorway or an entranceway to my pagoda. And maybe instead of water like I did on my original piece, I'm going to add a little pathway. So you want your lines to run parallel. They can also go off the page. That's another great way to show space if it goes off the page. Okay, not everything needs to be squeezed together into your drawings, okay? So I think I'm gonna put my crops around here. So we need a little farmhouse, right? We need a place where we keep our materials, and we're gonna keep that as a simple, you know what? We'll put the farmhouse down here. We're gonna make it a little bit smaller than our beautiful pagoda here. It's gonna be a little farmer's hut. So my little farmer's hut, I'm gonna give it a point. Instead of doing a trapezoid, I'm going to draw in a place where maybe we could keep our animal feed, maybe give it a little doorway. Another way that we can show space is drawing a line back into our doorway to show that it's a hollow space and that it's going back into space. And then when you shade this, you will shade it to give it a little roundness, okay? So now we have our largest, our middle size, and then you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and add one more hill, all right? That way I can draw my tiniest little pagoda there, okay? So my pagoda, my Japanese pagoda is gonna go here. Now it can come out into space. If you want it round, that's how you would do it. And then of course, go in there and erase any intersecting lines. So your building pops out into space, okay? This one I'm going to give a trapezoid type top. And I'm going to add three layers to that one. Those layers are too long. Remember, they should be getting smaller and smaller as they go back. So we're gonna shorten those up. And add a little steeple at the top to give it a little detail. Now, you can keep this looking like a balcony and sketch out some railings. Okay, just refer to your pocket or your thumbnail sketches. Okay, so far in our little civilization, we have a pagoda, a place for crops, and our furthest piece of architecture that's the furthest away. And keep in mind, the further you go back, the less detail that you will need. Things that are in the front here closest to us will be more detailed. So if you notice in my drawing here, I have details of grass, and then my hills, as they get further away, they get lighter and lighter, which is also another way that you can show space. And then back here, my volcano doesn't have too much detail, and neither does my little hilltop pagoda here. But the closer we come, the more and more detailed our work should be getting. So I wanted to add my sun. I want to make it a hot Japanese sun, so I'm adding some details there. Okay. And then we're missing a water source, so we're gonna go ahead and add in our river. And remember, so at the closest part to the viewer or us who are looking at it, the river will be the thickest or the widest, and we're gonna keep it a little parallel, and then it's gonna go off into the distance and get thinner and thinner as it goes further away. And they don't necessarily have to line up perfectly, because right here it's going down over the hill and then coming back up the next hill. So it doesn't have to look like it attaches like I did here, right? So this is going down into space, maybe around that, and finally coming up on our hill. So those bodies of water, they don't necessarily need to be connecting. And you know what? I'm gonna move this one over because I don't really like how it looks there. I'm gonna move it here, and then it's gonna come back this way, and I'm gonna take my water behind this building to make it a little more interesting. Okay, so now we have our body of water, and it's getting bigger and bigger as we go. I'm actually gonna make this a little wider also to give that effect. Okay guys, so from here you would go in after you get all your details drawn in. We would either start coloring it in with your details here, okay? And keep in mind that we need to add shading in order to show the shape of our buildings. So remember that the focus of this drawing is landscape design, and showing space. And you will use the rules of space to help you come up with your composition.